Hello, this podcast is brought to you by Emily, Mai, and Zyla from Intercom High School. Today's topic is the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett. If you recall, after the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a new Supreme Court justice is needed. Following the deaths of any Supreme Court justice, the current president should appoint the new Supreme Court justice. The president at the time was Donald Trump. And despite many people not supporting an appointment until after the election, Trump appointed the American lawyer and jurist Amy Coney Barrett, the new Supreme Court justice, confirmed on October 27, 2020. In today's topic, we are going to use the 5 filters of the mass media to talk about the media's view on this specific situation.
The political significance to Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation into the Supreme Court could last for decades to come. This is because we now have a majority conservative Supreme Court that will have a large amount of power in the laws that we, the United States citizens, will be living with until they die and can be replaced with others. The reason why a Supreme Court justice position is so important and you want to make sure the right person is in the position is because it is a lifetime appointment. Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation is significant because of her views on abortion, gay marriage, and how she uses religion to fuel her political beliefs. She took the place of RBG, who was a huge advocate for women's rights, including abortion rights, and without her, Amy Coney Barrett can be a huge asset to overturning Roe v. Wade. This means that women could be possibly losing their right to bodily autonomy rights. Another political significance to Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation was the hypocrisy of it all. Amy Coney Barrett was confirmed only a couple of weeks away from one of the most important elections in American history. Amy Coney Barrett will play a significant role in the Supreme Court for many, many years to come.
We're going to go ahead and talk about the first filter, which is ownership. Ownership plays a huge role in media. The more the media company is known, the more audience they gain. Successful companies whose names are well known draw more audience. People will more likely invest their time and money on those companies, making them grow bigger. The topic is the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett. And the media that we're going to look into is the New York Times. The New York Times is owned by Zahlberger. And the goal of the New York Times is to cover the news as impartial as possible, without fear or favor, and to treat readers, news sources, advertisers, and others fairly and openly, and to be seen doing so. Whether the information is wrong or not, people mostly care about whether this company is big or not, or where the journalists get this information. With only big companies being able to get more credible information, they attract more people than any other smaller companies.
Advertising is the second filter the media used. Amy Coney Barrett has been very open about her religious state and her stance on abortion. She's associated with 2 anti-abortion campaigns and advertisements. They include the We Renew Our Call for the Unborn to be Protected in Law and another opposing abortion on demand, according to ABC News. She has been supporting these campaigns since before she was confirmed. The media took the approach that she will fight to ban abortions to stay loyal to her campaigners. These advertisements are what helped her get her position in order to get a mostly conservative Supreme Court so they can overturn Roe v. Wade. These advertisements are harmful because they already have an agenda to get abortion rights taken away that have been protected by our Constitution for over 50 years, and that can all be changed, leaving women without reproductive.
The media need a steady and reliable flow of information, but they can't put reporters in every place where they may have a potentially important story. Instead, they put reporters where there's an often occurrence of important news, like the White House or the Pentagon. Media outlets such as USA Today had reporters at the White House during the announcement of Amy Coney Barrett's nomination. They were not hesitant to believe it because it came from the direct source, Donald Trump, who makes the decision himself who to nominate. And after the Senate voted and confirmed Amy Coney Barrett, they then announced the confirmation. These media outlets took this news from the President and Senate because of their status as officials. They view officials as credible sources, and it allows USA Today and other media to avoid criticism and the threat of libel suits, so there was no need for them to justify the quality of their news.
Flaking played a huge role in the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett. This was apparent when she had forgotten one of the First Amendment freedoms. She was asked, "What are the 5 freedoms in the First Amendment?" by Republican Senator Bass Sauce, in which she replied, "Speech, religion, press, assembly. I don't know what I am missing," according to the Independence News. The media then took this clip of her confirmation, and it was used as reason why Amy Coney Barrett is not fit and qualified to be a Supreme Court justice. This was later even turned into a meme that was spread along social media very fast, and the audio from this hearing even became a popular sound on the social media TikTok. This spread the idea that Amy Coney Barrett was a joke and that she was not a good replacement of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. However, it did also spread the truth about who was being sworn into our Supreme Court, even though it was one clip of a whole confirmation. It was not edited or clipped to spread false information. It was a known fact that she did not know all 5 freedoms of the First Amendment.
Furthermore, we're going to go into the 5th filter, which is anti-communism. As far as elites and corporations are concerned, the commission was something evil that took many things away from them, like wealth. This filter mobilizes the population against a common enemy while demonizing opponents as in a league with the enemy. It therefore helps to fragment the left and labor movements and serve as a political control mechanism. If the triumph of communism is the worst imaginable result, the support of fascism abroad is justified as a lesser evil. Opposition to social democrats who are too soft on communists and play into their hands is rationalized in similar terms. Now, talking about the media, CNN is the media that many people hate, but they're still doing well and getting the money. According to CNN, the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett is a threat to families that have disabilities, since they're showing no empathy. CNN also said the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett represents an unprecedented threat to the ACA and at-risk families, and the country is now in the middle of a pandemic. Now is not the time to play with politics. According to Tucker, additional years of exposure to communism are associated with less support for democracy and markets, more support for state-provided social welfare, and less support for gender equality. Going against each other and only fighting because people want to be right, this is harmful to everyone.
While applying these 5 filters to Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation, we were able to come to an objective conclusion about the situation. Through the use of reliable sources, we found through the first filter the size, concentration, ownership of the media. In our research, we used very credible and top-tier sources such as New York Times, USA Today, and CNN. The second filter showed Amy Coney Barrett used advertising to win over conservative votes with their anti-abortion views. Then, by using the information found from USA Today, which was first-hand information since they were at the White House that day, we were able to show the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett from a first-hand perspective. Flaking was used against Amy Coney Barrett during the confirmation process to show she was not fit to be a justice. Lastly, anti-communism was very prominent during the confirmation process, according to her views. Using the 5 filters of the media, we were able to come to the conclusion that the confirmation was rushed and not professional in any sense. We also came to the conclusion that she is not qualified to be a Supreme Court justice and hold such a high office because she lacks the basic knowledge, as she talked about in the flaking filter. It is apparent how she was selected for this position because of her extreme right-leaning views. Lastly, we know that she could possibly do more harm than good to society holding such a high office because of her ties with anti-abortion campaigns and her anti-communist views, showing her lack of sympathy towards the U.S. citizens during a pandemic. Thank you for listening to EMZ with Emily, Mai, and Zyla.